Hi everyone, welcome back to J-Tan Realty. Today I'm talking about Otto Place EC, and with me I have Melissa and Charlene together to bring you all the tips, all the analysis about Otto Place EC. After watching the video, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at 82620902, or you can go to my Instagram account to find out more tips and knowledge for yourself. Without further ado, let's go into Otto Place EC.
So today, as a HDB owners, once you reach your MOP, you are considering whether to upgrade, right? Yeah. So what are the choices, be it upgrading? Okay, you will look at new EC or new launch private properties, or even look at resale EC or resale private. So, but today we will just zoom directly into the new option, which is the new EC comparing with the new private properties. So before that, right, we need to also look into. So first, we have to look into what are the new launch private condos that upgraders can consider. Okay, we look at just West area condo. Okay, taking this transaction of a 3-bedroom West side. Okay, we have the sale price from 2 million up to 3 million. Okay, but let's just take an average of 2.3 million. Yeah, for West condo of 3-bedroom is about 2.3 million. So the loan 75% it comes out to be 1.7. Okay, adding in the down payment, adding in your buyer stamp duty, it will comes out to be 659,000 of a CPF and cash. Okay, then it leads down to what is your money installment, which is 6,800. Okay, so 6,800 you have to look into, is it a very comfortable range for most HDB upgraders, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then next, let's take an example of, let's say, combined income of 16,000. The maximum loan you can take up to 1.8 million. Okay, but of course, 1.8 million, your monthly installment will be about 8,800. Alright, then we have to look at the affordability for most of the HDB upgraders. First, let's just take West area again. For a West area HDB BTO, right, they purchase about 309,000. Okay, and fast forward 5 years later after MOP, what is their average sale price? It will be about 658,000. Okay, we need to drill down the affordability based on all the financial step by step. So just now I mentioned purchase of 330,000, the BTO price. When you sell at average sale price about 658. So with these 5 years, your outstanding loan will be roughly about 250,000. So estimated proceeds will be 408,000. Okay, and this 5 years MOP, of course, you will work accumulate your CPF, right? Yeah, so it will be up to 150,000. Adding in total your proceeds and your current CPF, you add up to 558,000. So just now I mentioned the average West 3-bedroom is around 2.3 million. So adding all the stamp duties and all, your shortfall is still 100,000. So this shortfall of 100,000, right, will it stop many HDB owners from upgrading?
Yep.
So if you're going for this private new launch, there is also two things to consider because there are two options. Okay, one is you continue to stay put in your HDB. Okay, then after your private new launch TOP already, then you sell your HDB, but then you will have to pay the ABSD of 20% because concurrently you're holding two properties. Then after TOP, then you can claim the 20% back. Next option, it will be to sell your HDB and then rent a place which average 4-bedroom in the West area is about rental $3,000, and it adds up, let's say 3.5 years of waiting time for your new launch to build, right? It will add up to about 133,000. So this will be your additional commitment that you have to consider as well. So adding in just now the shortfall of 100,000 plus this additional commitment of 133,000, right? And many buyers will feel that is it too hard for them? Then why not they just stay put in their HDB and not upgrading?
Yeah, I think that's a very, very common concern. 233,000 is not a small sum. Okay, so but let's just look at how the HDB has performed for 4-room. So after 2009, right, the prices have actually seen a very, very sharp increase. So what the government actually did, right, was to actually pump more supply of BTO. The reason why they do so is because they will actually increase the options for buyers so that it will actually affect like the seller's demand. So when the seller's demand is affected, then they have no choice but to moderate their price in a way lah. And that was implemented. However, that still did not cool the prices. So the government actually did a cooling measure in 2013. So also to limit the buying options for buyers. So in January 2013, they actually reduced the MSR from 40% to 35%. However, in the month of August, they have actually further reduced it to 30%. After these cooling measures have kicked in, HDB prices actually really did take a dip, and only thanks to COVID, right, that the prices did increase again. Basically, the purpose of government actually introducing these cooling measures is for HDB to actually have a moderate demand, encouraging financial prudence by reducing the maximum loan tenure for HDB, lowering the MSR, and also introducing a waiting period for PRs before they can actually buy a HDB flat. So they have to wait for 3 years, yeah? Okay, so this was the previous news for 2011 to 2014 where HDB actually introduced a supply of 100,000 BTO flats. And actually, if you find this familiar, right, because the government had actually said the same news recently. In 2021, they said they will actually launch 100,000 BTO flats from 2021 to 2025. They have also rolled out shorter waiting times of less than 3 years. And they promised that they complete all the COVID-delayed HDB projects. So with this ramp up of supply, it's kind of like good news for buyers because you kind of have more options, but it's a bad news for sellers because prices are expected to moderate. Right. So just now, like I mentioned, the government has actually introduced measures like loan to value reduction. So the loan to value has been adjusted in 2021, adjusted to 85%, 2022 adjusted to 80%, and now in 2024, 75%. So to make sure, they actually control the purchasing power to actually restrain the prices from skyrocketing, basically, right? So with this news of the 15-month wait-out period potentially being removed, right, to me, right, it actually shows signs that HDB prices in the coming months will see moderation. HDB will not allow the prices to grow to the extent where it's actually beyond reach for the public because public housing should be kept affordable. Okay, so now we look at the HDB and private resale price gap. Wow. The price gap is like 62.2%. So it used to be a lot lower, like 50%. And the current HDB owners would definitely feel that it's getting harder to actually upgrade to the private condo because I feel that I will get priced out. I'll constantly prices keep increasing, right? This is one of the OCR prices, one of the land bids of Bayshore the tender was closed on March this year with 1,388 PSF per plot ratio. So what does this mean to you as a buyer? This launch price of this condo is estimated to be about 2,800 PSF for OCR. In context, it means that it's the outskirts of Singapore. It's not like the core central region. It's not like the city fringe. We are talking about outskirt area. Future Jurong prices. This is also the latest news came out, I think, yesterday. Right, CDL actually bid 1,132 PSF per plot ratio, and this is the same price as Margaret Drive, which is actually in the city fringe area. And both of these plots are estimated to launch at about 2,600 PSF. So this, what it tells me is that, next time, would I be able to afford a private condo since it's getting more and more expensive? So let me just give you an overview. This is just a map. If let's say you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. So we have also included the land price and also the estimated launch price to get a feel of what the future condo prices will be like. So how do we actually catch up and actually close this gap? How do I afford a private condo eventually?
Okay, so just now we saw that HDB prices, no matter how long you hold, the gap, you will never ever catch up to the private anymore. The gap is getting bigger, you are getting older, the loan that you are getting is I would say is lesser and lesser.
Yeah.
So today there's another option where people use to actually catch up to private properties. So we see from here the EC versus private entry gap. Alright, so in the past in 2015, what we see is there was a gap of about 278 PSF difference. So EC and a private is more or less the same price. Okay, but when we come to 2025, which is right now, we see a gap of 646 PSF difference. And why can this happen for an EC to be kept so low in prices? Because this is a highly protected property, alright, and it enjoys a subsidized entry price. This one we will talk more about it later. How we keep the EC prices low? First, we need to see this thing called HPP in short. So very popular, people like to buy is HDB BTO. Alright, the next thing people will like is new EC. Why? Because all the prices lower compared to other property types. Okay, so highly protected properties, this is a property type that is reserved for Singaporeans only. Alright, and there are a lot of requirements to fulfill in order for you to purchase one. And because of all these requirements, all this eligibility, usually the prices will be able to be restrained. And next thing is subsidies are also provided to all these buyers. So income ceiling will come into play. So naturally, when income ceiling comes into play, the loan eligibility will be lower, and therefore prices will usually be kept very low. So EC has so many criteria. So if you can see here, income ceiling 16,000, you have to form certain nucleus. Alright, so for EC, for example, there are 4 schemes that you can go into. Then citizenship, you definitely must have a Singapore citizen inside. If you are a PR, you have to find a citizen to marry to. Then you can apply for EC. Then for ownership wise, you can only hold on to a HDB to buy an EC. If not, you cannot have any private under your name lah. And for BTO wise, if let's say you apply for a BTO and then you choose to give up on it, you have to wait 1 year before you can apply for an EC. For private, once you sold it, okay, complete already, you have to wait out 30 months in order for you to apply for an EC. So all these measures helps to delay demand into the EC and thus creating that these low prices for EC lah. So purchase count, you can only buy 2 subsidized housing from HDB in your whole lifetime in Singapore. Okay, so if you already use up 1 chance to buy an BTO, the second chance either you choose BTO or EC lah. But if you have already used up 2 chances, you are no longer eligible to buy this kind of housing. Alright, and most importantly, the MSR 30%. This is a mortgage servicing ratio, so only 30% of your income can be used towards the loan counting. Okay, we have said that HPP stands to enjoy SEP. SEP meaning subsidized entry price. So why subsidized entry price? Because the land bid price is already low. So therefore, developers, they do not need to price it so high for people to buy. Okay. Next, you also have a $30,000 of housing grant if you buy an EC. Of course, this one tax to your income lah. You have to be of certain income in order to enjoy these housing grants. So now we also want to see, can HDB upgraders afford new EC? Just now Charlene mentioned that condo buyers, if they want to buy, they already need to fork out 100,000. And if they keep their HDB, they have to wait. Either they get ABSD, if not they rent and wait another 133,000. So this 233,000 commitment is actually quite taxing for all the buyers out there. So if they buy an EC, what are the sums like? If we see from the recent launches, Aura of Tampines, we see an average of 1.5 million. Novo Place is also close to 1.5 million average. So using this example, I will use 1.5 million for average 3-bedroom price. If we use 30% of 16,000, this will help us qualify for a 981,000 of loan. But in order to afford a 1.5 million purchase price, I have to qualify for 1.125 million of loan. Therefore, I will have a shortfall of 143,000. So the question is, now I have a shortfall of loan. How can I make it up in order for me to afford this 1.5 million 3-bedroom? So for EC, there's something called a Deferred Payment Scheme, which it helps a lot of buyers out there reduce their commitment for the next 3 to 3.5 years. So how this happens is, if we look on the left over here, this is a progressive payment where it's very similar to what we have in the new condo. As the developers build to certain stages, the loan will be disbursed accordingly. Okay, so at every stage when developer builds, you just have to service your mortgage. Your mortgage will start once foundation is done. Okay, but for EC, for example, you can see over here, even when they build the foundation, framework, wall, etc. for the stages, buyers do not have to pay a single cent for mortgage. This is Deferred Payment Scheme, meaning to say they defer all the loan towards TOP. So at TOP, the whole 60% will then be disbursed. And then from your CPF, 75,000 will be taken out to go into this TOP stage. Okay, So how is this helpful is you save on the interest rate in this period, 3 to 3.5 years. So why a lot of people are using this time to go into EC is because they expect the interest rate to further drop a little bit more. And if you buy in now, you skip all this high interest rate zone, and once it comes to TOP, you might be enjoying the low interest rate.
Yeah.
Okay. Second thing that EC has in a special way is this thing called Deferred Bridging Loan. Okay, so how it works, just follow me, I'll explain to you. So using HDB in Bukit Batok, average about 658,000. Today you are owner of a 4-room HDB in Bukit Batok. Let's say you have an outstanding loan of 250,000. How deferred bridging loan is they take a certain value out of your property, minus away your outstanding loan. You have this value that help you bridge across your shortfall when buying an EC. For example, using 90% of your HDB value, I minus away the outstanding loan, I will have this amount of 342,000. So just now I mentioned that there was a shortfall of 143,000. So this will help us bridge this gap across. So I can now qualify for 1.5 million EC easily. Okay, if I want to further stretch my purchase price, how can I do that? Deferred bridging loan helps you bridge up to 80% of the purchase price.
Yeah.
So if I use just now 981,000, which is 16k income loan eligibility, plus this 342,000 in total, I'll have 1.3 million of loan that I can get. Okay. So this is 80%. If I divide by 80%, my purchase price will be 1.654 million. So this will help me get a lot more options in the EC. So all in all, EC is usually the easier upgrade option for HDB upgraders out there. Okay, the challenges I've stated over here. First, I have to either sell my house. If not, I get ABSD. Then my LTV might be affected also because I'm serving 2 loans. Alright. Then if I sell already, I have to rent first. Rent, I have to commit certain amount of money out. Alright. Then if I sell my HDB already, I go into a new condo, I get a bad ballot number, then I'm stuck already. I cannot buy anything. And it's so expensive right now because 1.5 million, I can only get a 2-bedroom out there for a new condo market. And then I can only get normal payment scheme, which I have to start experiencing the interest right now. Alright. But for EC, I don't need to sell house. I don't need to pay BSD. I will definitely get a 75% LTV. And I don't need to rent. And I don't need to worry about whether I sell already, then I cannot buy anything, then I get stuck. Because EC, you don't have to sell a house yet. 3-bedroom is only $1.5 million. Furthermore, I still have deferred payment scheme and deferred bridging loan to help me afford an EC.
The question is also many buyers are asking, EC can really profit so much? Yeah. Then let's take a look at this recent article just this year. It shows that this is a Bishan loft. It's also a EC. The profit is at least 1 million in gross profit. Okay, so EC is still a winning proposition for buyers because number one, just now you mentioned about the HPP thing and it's also a popular hybrid of private properties and public housing criteria. So EC has always performed very healthy with good profits. So let's just look at all the EC that which has already MOP. What are their record profits? So you can look, it's more than 5 EC that has already transacted at least 1 million profits, right? So why is the reason? Because they buy HPP, just now Jay mentioned HPP, SEP, and they sell at PEP. Oh, so many acronyms, right? So what is PEP? Yeah, PEP actually stands for Private Exit Price. Yeah, so just now we mentioned Private Exit Price because after EC MOP, it is considered privatized, just that it cannot sell to foreigner. Foreigner, you have to wait another 5 years, which is total 10 years. Okay, then after 5 years MOP, there will also be a huge pool of buyers that are looking into buying resale properties. So they will compare between the resale private properties and the resale EC, right? Yeah, then we look at this chart over here. The average per square foot difference between the resale EC and the resale condo is just 86 per square foot. Yeah, which is very, very little gap. So between this gap, right, the buyers will naturally lean to a price that is cheaper option. Am I right? Yeah. Okay, then let's look at the 3 bedrooms comparing the resale EC and a resale condo. So the average pricing is about 1.4 million to 1.5 million. So the gap is about 100,000. And then naturally buyers will definitely look for the cheaper option. And EC, the floor plans, actually developers also make it like more into a family-centric floor plans compared to a resale condo. Okay, next we look at the 4 bedrooms. For 4 bedrooms, resale EC and resale condo, the gap from 1.7 million to 2 million is about 300,000. Let's say there's not much differences in the floor plan. Naturally, buyers will look at the cheaper option, right? Yep.
Okay, so if let's say today I have a HDB that achieves its MOP already, but there isn't actually a EC that is launched in my area. So should I even consider EC location in other location, or should I wait for something that comes up in my area? So that's what I'll cover in the next slide. So we'll cover Novo Place, which is actually the last launch. They have actually sold 57% on launch day with an average price of about 1,006 PSF. So first day launch is usually for first timers. And for second balloting means this is open to second timers. Novo Place has hit 88.1% sale rate. Wow. So this shows that there's actually a very, very strong demand even in the west. And even we go to the east, right, Orel at Tampines, there's also a very strong demand for Orel at Tampines. 90% sold on day one.
Wow.
And for second balloting, left at 10%, obviously, is all snapped up on the second balloting day, which is very good news for Orel at Tampines. So given all these statistics, right, developers, when they see this kind of launch, right, wow, very, very confident, right? Pukomai. You see there's a very, very strong demand for EC, and actually those people who fail to buy is actually a lot more than people who successfully bought. So current supply of EC in the whole of Singapore, currently at this point of filming, there's only 26 units. So it definitely gives the developer a boost in confidence in demand for even for the upcoming EC land bids. So the upcoming ECs are at Jalan Loyang Besar and Tampines Street 95. General rule of thumb, ECs are usually not close to MRT with the exception of Novo and Otto Place, right? So however, when we compare Jalan Loyang Besar and Tampines Street 95, the distance to MRT is not as ideal. However, the land price has increased quite a fair bit. So why is developer so brave to bid a higher price? It's because there is a very, very strong demand for EC. Right? So let's compare between Novo Place and Orel, which is the last two launch. The difference in PSF per plot ratio, which is the land cost, is about $18 PSF. And when it comes to the average sale price between the 3 and 4 bedders, the average difference is about 100,000. So when it comes to the next launch, Otto EC, Loyang and Tampines, with the upcoming land prices being 701, 729 and 768, right? The most important question here is how much higher are we expecting the launch price to be, right? So, and also the future EC prices if let's say we choose to wait for something to come up in my preferred location, right? So next, we also have to consider income ceiling. So for every general election, I mean, this is just a trend that we have noticed that after every general election, on the National Day rally, they would have announced that there is an increase of income ceiling from 12,000 to 14,000 to 16,000. Now, I'm not saying that these general election and National Day rallies, it will definitely have an increase, but I'm just saying that there's a pattern. What if they have an increase? If let's say they really do increase to 18,000, let's say, would there be more buyers that's coming to an EC market or less buyers that come to EC market? So with less competition, I would suppose this is a better time for you to actually snap out an EC before the higher income group people actually come in as a higher demand, right? So if I continue to wait, of course, I will become older, right? As I become older, my loan tenure actually decrease. And also as I age, right, for every 100,000 difference in loan that I take, this is the amount of installment that I can expect to increase. Per 100,000 is not the full loan quantum, yeah? So this is the chain of reactions that we need to actually question ourselves when we actually thing to wait to buy an EC today, regardless if it's in the location that you want. Number one, will the income ceiling definitely be increased eventually? I think it's still very much a question mark. Right. So with the demand and everything, will the developers bid higher or lower for the future land plots? It's actually still very questionable. I mean, there's no way of saying, right? But will the developers sell higher or lower for future ECs? My guess is higher for sure, because I mean, there's still a lot of people buying, right? So regarding timing the market, should you buy before or after the income ceiling increases, if it even increases, right? So if let's say more people come into the market and you get more competition, then of course your chances of getting a subsidized entry price might be a little bit lower. Okay, so why buy Otto EC?
So why buy Otto EC? I feel we also need to understand what it offers, like the convenience wise, because EC, I think mostly we target all the families, because ECs are usually 3-4 bedrooms. We'll have to understand for families to stay there, what are the convenience that they can enjoy, and comparing to side by side condos, is there a better advantage if you buy Otto Place EC? So if we go into that, we want to understand the land bid prices and whether it's healthy enough when it comes to bidding the land. Okay, so Hoi Hub won this land at 700 PSF per plot ratio. And following that, we see there are still 3 more developers that bidded quite close to it. So can I say that if these 3 developers didn't manage to get this plot of land, they'll definitely want to try elsewhere or even in the Tengah area again. So upcoming, there will still be healthy demand coming into Tengah. Developers will still be confident enough to go and buy plots of land over here. If we see Otto Place EC, okay, what we get to enjoy is this Bukit Batok West MRT together with Tengah Park MRT just within about 4 minutes walking distance away. So an EC that is near to MRT is really hard to come by. Alright, and we also have this Plantation Plaza, which is the hotspot for the Tengah people. This is where they go and bring their kids for the playgrounds, for their shopping, grocery shopping, and some food court options over there. So Otto Place EC being part of Tengah, you get to enjoy this. And one very important thing will be this Princess Elizabeth Primary School. Alright, because everybody buy for schools one. As a parent myself, once it comes my turn for my children, I think I also have to consider this very carefully, because for me to bring my kids to the school, this is a portion of time either I save or I spend additionally to just send them to school.
On a daily basis.
Daily basis times 2. I need to bring them back also. Yeah, so all these are the considerations of families in Singapore. Okay, and Tengah Park MRT will be ready in 2028, which is the same time as Otto Place EC TOP. So Jurong Region Line is the one where Tengah Park and Bukit Batok West MRT is. So we are situated in the middle. Alright, so this will come out in phase 2 of Jurong Region Line. Alright, so once you stay in Otto Place EC, you'll also get to enjoy the phase 3, which is upcoming. That will link you to Pandan Reservoir, Jurong Pier, and I think I saw a map that it connects to Haw Par Villa as well.
Oh wow.
So if you connect to Haw Par Villa, you can go to Circle Line, go down to Cantonment, Prince Edward MRT also. So it really links everybody together next time with this Jurong Region Line.
Okay.
So Otto Place EC, these are some information about it as of the point of filming. Alright, so this is 20,000 square meters of land compared to Novo Place EC. Novo Place EC is 16,000, so significantly bigger. So what does it mean to owners over there? Bigger land size, meaning to say there will definitely be more facilities for you as a EC owner over there. And in total, we have 600 units in this EC. What is so special about EC is this thing, 4 units per floor. If you compare to new condos, usually you will see 6 to 8 units per floor. Everybody's snatching for the lifts.
Yeah.
Especially during peak hour time. But EC is only 4 units per floor. It's a point block kind of concept. Alright. So when it comes to resale market, naturally EC always stands an advantage because people likes their own corners.
Yeah.
Privacies. Okay. And when it comes to car park as well, a lot of people feel, hey, car park never mind lah, never drive, it's okay one. But let me bring to you what kind of problems it can cause once it comes to resale market. So in the phase where you are staying inside the EC, Okay, what happens is tendency of you holding a party inside, is it high or low?
Quite high.
Quite high. I heard of like friends asking this issue or no, hey, can you help me book?
The first 2 years is housewarming one.
Housewarming, you just every household want to housewarming one. So this housewarming will mean a lot of guests from outside will come in, pour in.
Yeah.
They'll come and have a look at this place. So nice. You buy this EC or that. There's also friends who stay nearby. Hey, can you help me book this barbecue pit, that function room, so that I can hold my party for my kids, etc.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will be coming in. And what happens when these, especially during the weekends, everybody come in together. You don't have enough parking lots anymore.
Oh no.
Oh no, right?
To go to park.
Where are you going to park? 70%. 70% it might be already an issue. Do you know Novo Place EC is 50%?
Yeah.
Where to park? They cannot come Otto Place to park also. Okay? So what happens? Later on I'll explain more on this car park. Okay? I carry on with this Otto Place EC. We have 8 blocks. Just for information, this Otto word, okay, it means 8. Alright, so that's why it represents these 8 blocks in this Otto Place EC. Okay, we have 3-bedroom types, 4-bedroom types. Okay, later on you will see the unit mix. This Otto Place EC, they pay more attention to the bigger unit types. Alright, the target TOP 2028 will be ready. So if today you are using DPS or Deferred Bridging Loan, this is the timeline that you have to consider, because once it TOPs, your Deferred Bridging Loan interest will kick in. So a lot of people will want to time their sale of HDB way before their ECTOP to avoid paying interest for the Deferred Bridging Loan.
Yep.
Okay. This distance to PIE is also a concern that we also want to address, because everybody knows this is the EC in Tengah that is closest to PIE, the major expressway. Alright. So when I come to the parking again, so Otto Place EC is situated over here. Alright, Novo Place is just beside. So guests coming to Novo Place cannot find parking. Where do they go?
HDB car park.
HDB car park, MSCP. These 3 that are nearest. Okay, so naturally people will go to 107, park already, then they come back. Alright, but today if you are the owner there, during weekend, you drive your car out in the morning, afternoon you come back,
No more lot.
no more lot. Then now you cannot ask some guests to drive away their car.
But also, like, even if you're an owner in Novo Place, there's no guarantee you can get a car park lot as well.
It's up to MCST to do balloting or what sort of order they want to do. The concern is today you are the owner, you cannot drive back to your own condo to park. That's a very huge concern, especially during weekends. Alright, then you have to park here, then you just walk back to your EC. So Otto Place, I think advantage is there is 20% extra.
Yeah.
So the tendency of you don't have a lot is lower lah. Okay, so a lot of people tell me, never mind lah, 50%, never mind, I don't drive. Next time you'll know. Okay, so unit mix over here, if you are concerned about the sizes, okay, these are all harmonized sizes already.
Okay.
For the upcoming ECs are all harmonized already. So your quantum that you are paying actually is lower, but you get the same layout. Alright, you can see even for the 4 bedrooms, we are in a 1,000 square feet range. Compared to older ECs, 1,000 is their 3-bedroom premium size. Okay. So now the unit mix over here, like I said, the percentage over here, which is already approved, you see above 50% of the higher or bigger size layouts. So Otto Place EC, if today you are a buyer who likes space a lot, I think Otto Place EC is the place where you get higher chance of getting a bigger size unit, because what we see from the past projects like Orel, Novo Place, the bigger size usually gets snapped up first. So Otto Place EC, you stand a bigger chance. Okay, so I also want to talk about the developer. Alright, because developer is important when it comes to finishing, their reputation, and when it comes to resale, people are also asking, this development, is it by certain developers? Okay, so Hoi Hub, they have done Park Central EC, which also has had a very good response. I think Hoi Hub, all along, they are very focused in ECs. They do a lot of ECs, and you can see the interior over here is more or less like a private condo, so the quality you will never lose to a private condo. Okay, Park Canberra as well. This is located in Sembawang. Alright, the new estate Canberra. Alright, so you will see, we still have all the pools, we still have the playgrounds. I would say the facilities wise is more catered to families over here. So the track record of Hoi Hub going into the private, we have Sofa Hills, Terra Hills, alright, so they do private condos as well. They even do hotels, commercial buildings, alright. So now, we also want to go into Otto Place EC analysis, going to 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, the prices as well. So continue to stay with us. You will get to know more about Otto Place EC. Okay, so Otto Place EC, these are the perspectives that you can expect when it comes to living inside. So I'm going to touch on very briefly. Alright, this is the entrance. This is the pool where there is a lazy pool concept, and then the normal lap pool. This is the function room that you get to enjoy for your parties. And then mahjong room, entertainment room, this work zone that you can stay away from all the noises around you. Then you have a dining area. So very popular if it comes to Chinese New Year, that kind of parties that you want to hold. And for children, the playground beside the kids pool, okay, and beside the function room is what every parents will like, right? For young adults, karaoke room, okay, for adults with kids, they have a children's play corner. Alright, then for people who like to gym, it's along the pool itself, and it's quite big. I think what I heard was it's about a 4-room flat size. It's quite big for a gym. Okay, so these are the side gates that you have to keep in mind. Alright, so the blocks below, this is the PIE area. Okay, on top that will be the Novo Place area. So we have 2 side gates at the top. Okay, one goes to Tengah Park MRT via overhead bridge. Okay, then there's this covered linkway to Tengah Park MRT as well. So today if it's raining, you can go through by here. Below there's another one that helps you to go to Yuhua Village for you to enjoy more food options over there. Alright, then opposite this covered linkway, I show you over here, because Novo Place and Otto Place are both by Hoi Hub, so they are going to do up this covered walkway to help people go to the bus stops. And also Bukit Batok West MRT. Alright. One thing you also have to take note of will be the distance between these 2 projects is about 42 meters. So later on, we also touch on, is it more favorable to face Novo Place or the PIE? Okay, one thing that is very important over here, Novo Place floor to floor, the ceiling height is about 2.975 meters, whereas for Otto Place, all the floors are about 3.15 meters. So Otto Place is much higher. If you go into the unit itself, you'll feel this virtual sense, you'll feel is more spacious. Okay. MRT, because we have some stacks that are facing the MRT, so the track plus the MRT will actually reach about 4th story. So if you are looking to clear this MRT, you have to buy at least 5th floor and above. And these are the things that developers are providing for the owners. Okay, for those that are closer to the PIE, they are giving this acoustic blind and then acoustic ceiling as well. All these will help you absorb away the noises. Okay, then there are some that are still facing the roads and the noisy tracks. Okay, they are giving the blind, acoustic blind. Okay, for those inward facing or Novo Place facing, then you don't have all this.
Yep.
Okay, so all the noise has been taken into consideration. So developers are helping all the owners out there. This is a site plan. Okay, overall all the stacks and where all the 3-bedders, 4-bedders are. So now we go into the 3-bedroom analysis.
Okay, so generally EC floor plans are always quite functional. So let's compare the 3-bedroom first. Between these, let's take a look at C1 versus C2 layout. This is a smaller 3-bedrooms. Okay, the difference is actually just the dining area on your placing and as well as the kitchen. So one is a bit squarish, another is a bit longish type. Okay, and the other part is the study area. So C2, the 904 square feet, that is additional study, but it's just a bit corner area along your walkway. So you can ask your children to sit there and do homework while you monitor them. Okay, then next, let's look at the bigger 3-bedroom, which is C3 at 936 square feet. Okay, this one, the kitchen is bigger and is tucked away on the left side of your living area. So what's good about this is there is a glass panel that you can oversee your living area. So it makes it very safe for parents when they are cooking, they still can monitor their kids lah. Another thing is because this kitchen, even when you are cooking, right, you enclose the kitchen to the living area because it links directly to the balcony, so air ventilation is very good. Okay, and this layout, there is also a proper dining space. So between the smaller C1, C2, C3, I'll pretty much prefer the C3 layout because of the kitchen. Okay, next, let's look at the larger 3 bedrooms unit, which is C4 at 947 square feet and C5 958 square feet. So these larger 3 bedroom units, it comes with a proper study area. Okay, which this study area is actually merged into the master bedroom. So one thing, merging into master bedroom, you can first convert it to a workspace, or you can make it into your like a walk-in wardrobe space. Yeah. So the only difference between this C4 and C5, I would say, is the kitchen area and the dining space. So next, looking at this are the site plan of all the 3 bedrooms, right? I will think, because just now Jay mentioned that the right side will be at the MRT, so there might be a bit of sound. Down to my own preference, I will prefer inner facing the pool, or at least block to block further distance.
Okay, so let's move on to the 4 bedroom. So 4 bedroom, very simple. We only got 2 layouts. The smaller 4 bedroom and the larger 4 bedroom. I think it's quite obvious the difference. The smaller 4 bedroom has a naughty corner study table versus the D2, which has a study area in the living room, which you can actually enlarge your living room if you don't need that particular study corner. And the D2 has a walk-in wardrobe. Has a more spacious walk-in wardrobe. Of course, if you ask me if budget is not a problem, I would definitely prefer the D2 layout, right? And also for the D2 layout, there's also an additional junior master. So for the D1, it's just regular 4-bed, 3-bath. Actually, the third bathroom is actually the WC. So for the D2, it's 4-bed, 4-bath. So moving on to the site plan. So for the 4 bedrooms, most of them are actually having the inner facing. Right, only one stack faces the PIE and one stack faces Novo Place. Of course, there will be some people who actually don't mind the PIE facing, because as long as you go high enough, actually technically speaking, you get unblocked view. Right. So and block to block, if let's say I were to choose an inner facing, or rather choose the one with the furthest block to block distance, which is right in the middle. Yep. So we'll go through estimated pricing because I think this is one of the key factors when it comes to buying EC, and also because there are several ECs in Tengah, right? We also need to kind of check out our competition. So next time when our EC actually hits the resale market, how would we perform?
Yep. So if we go into the estimated pricing, okay, we can estimate about 1,650 PSF for all the units, because what I see from the past projects from Altura, Lumina, Copen Grand and Novo Place, alright. So the disparity of the average PSF is around about 100 PSF away, 100 to 200 PSF away. And if we compare to Novo Place, because it's by the same developer, I will assume the average PSF should be around the same as well. But if they are confident enough, judging from the current supply, the current response to all the ECs, they could go into the 1,700 to 1,750 PSF range. Okay, so I laid out over here, which you can screenshot if you want to, so that you have a reference point to calculate first before the prices are being released when the show flat previews comes. Okay, so if we go into 3-bedroom prices, we also want to understand, are we overpaying for something that is readily around in Bukit Batok and Tengah area once it comes to the resale market. Okay, so average prices that we see from Novo Place, Lumina, Altura, Copen Grand, alright, the average for a 3-bedroom is in the 1.4 range, not hitting 1.5 yet. Okay, but today if we are going into Otto Place EC using 1,650, we are also below 1.5 million for a more compact 3-bedrooms. But once we go into the more popular 3-bedroom like C3, C4 and C5, okay, we have a little bit of premium that we have to pay.
Yep.
Okay, so the intention of me putting this 1,008 PSF over here is also to let you know if today your queue number is not as ideal, what are the options that you can quickly turn to. Alright, so at 1,008 PSF, meaning your queue numbers is all the way to the back already. Okay, for a compact 3-bedroom, we are having a 1.57 million. Okay, if we go to the other sizes that are bigger, 1.57 million can actually reach you
C4.
C3, C4 kind of layout. You get extra size, at the same price. Okay, but of course the floor level might not be as high lah. Okay, but the more important thing to consider is whether you can even get a unit here. So today, if you cannot get your compact size 3-bedroom with the same quantum, why not go and explore whether you can get a bigger size at a lower floor?
Yeah.
Okay. 4-bedroom prices we see for the average of the past projects is hitting 1.8, closing to 1.9. All right, for us, the smaller 4-bedroom 1.67, the bigger one closing on to 2 million. So in terms of preferred choice, all right, for HDB upgraders, I will tend to see D1. D1 should be the more popular one, easier to upgrade to. The commitment is lesser as well. But of course, today you are more of you have parent support. You have some other supports that can help you go into 2 million range. Of course, you can get a bigger size. Right? Why we encourage you to buy as big as possible? One thing is also because of the rarity. Next time when it comes to resale market, when it comes to resale market, you are exposed to PR buyers, and PR buyers usually they don't mind paying a little bit more to get a bigger size unit, because they cannot buy landed, they can only buy from you a big size condo. Okay, so if today you can get extra support to help you, why not go and explore this D2? Okay, because for D1 at a higher range, you will be hitting 1.8 plus. Okay, 1.8 plus million, which can give you about a low floor D2 size. Okay, so all these considerations, you can feel free take a quick snapshot of this. If you need further discussion, please reach out to either of us, okay, through our channels, through our Instagram or our personal contact numbers. Alright, reach out to us, we can explain to you further on how you should plan according to your finances as well. The most important thing is we want you to buy something that you can afford and not stretch. Okay, so 5-bedroom prices over here, we have seen prices reaching 2.2 already for a new condo. When it comes to resale market, definitely they will sell about 2.5 million and above lah. Okay, so today if you are buying a bigger size 4-bedroom 2.1 million, you are actually buying a 5-bedroom price. So you can also consider currently Altura still have the last unit over there, 2.2 million. Top up a little bit more, you can go to Altura already. And I will say once Otto Place EC price is announced, I think this Altura one, this one unit will be sold already. Okay, because the price makes more sense for a 5-bedroom there. Okay, so this is the launch timeline for Otto Place EC. The preview is starting from 4 July all the way to 15 July. And after this 15 July, price will be released for you to do your financial calculations and pre-plan for your balloting. Okay, balloting day for your queue sequence will happen on July 18, and the booking day will be 19 July. Alright, this very important date. Right now, you can save in your calendar so that you don't miss out on any of these days. Of course, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to me at 82620902 or visit my Instagram page so that you can understand more information for yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.